Another day, another rally at the South Carolina State House. As you can see behind me, another group of conservative protesters are out in force today opposing vaccine mandates and demanding action from South Carolina lawmakers on that front.
Do your job.
That's right. These protesters want lawmakers to do their job and take affirmative action to combat the various vaccine mandates that have come out of Washington, D.C. under the administration of Joe Biden. We've addressed this issue before. It's not a new issue. We know where Republicans are supposed to be on the issue. Unfortunately, as we've learned too often, Republicans like to say one thing and do another. That's what this crowd's upset about. That's what the crowd that was here earlier this week was upset about. So here's the problem. Procedural hurdles have been erected to block any bill that would allow lawmakers to take a firm stand against these vaccine mandates. As we saw earlier this week, that really upset the conservative protesters who came out in force to talk some trash to their Republican lawmakers. All right, so we got several bills to consider. The first bill we've talked about already. It's S-177. It has cleared the Senate and is currently pending in the House. This bill is a straight vaccine mandate ban. It would block the federal government from implementing any sort of vaccine mandate and would actually prevent any employer from requiring those vaccines among their employees. That bill is the one that these conservative activists want to see cleared by the General Assembly because, again, it's already halfway through the chamber, more than halfway through, actually. Unfortunately, lawmakers are not technically in session right now. They're in what's called an emergency session or a planning session to deal with a very specific set of issues. So according to the legislative leaders, they are bound to follow those specific issues. They cannot deviate. Now, earlier this week, lawmakers took a step to make sure that they couldn't deviate and address the vaccine mandates that this crowd wants to have addressed. One of the bills that lawmakers have looked at as a vehicle to potentially address their problems is a bill introduced by State Representative Stuart Jones. It's Bill 3126, and it's basically a nullification bill. And while it addresses vaccine mandates generally, conservative supporters believe it could be amended to specifically target the Biden administration mandates. Here's the good thing about 3126. The clerk of the House has already ruled that it is germane to the current deliberations in the legislature. That means if Representative Jones is able to get this bill introduced on Monday, there's a chance they could pass it the very next day. Will legislative leaders allow Stuart Jones to introduce his bill at the State House on Monday? Guess we'll find out.